adopt new technology. But by and large, that has been restricted to the actual construction aspect of it, the hands-on building and everything else that's been associated with it. As you can see from a lot of the exhibits that are around here today, there's a lot of very innovative new techniques coming out, and the industry is responding very well by the adoption of these. But by and large, the industry hasn't looked at the sales system. The sales system that we use for selling new homes is effectively the same thing we've been using for 200 years, or probably about 500 years. It's an archaic system that if you took somebody from the streets of London back when Dickens was knocking around and dropped in the middle of Dublin City, you'd probably still be able to go and buy a house. If you ask them to do anything else, you'd be lost, but you'd be able to buy a house, you know. So I think it says a lot about what we've done and what we haven't done, that we're dealing with such an archaic system. Like, there has to be a better way of going about business, and it's not as if people are happy with it. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes the way the home sales are going on. The developers hate it, the solicitors hate it, the bankers hate it, the agents hate it, the buyers hate it. Nobody likes it. But we're all sitting there looking at each other because it's the way that it has been done historically. Nothing has changed. It's a stressful situation, leads to enormous amounts of hair pulling, sales fall through, all kinds of stuff. So it's with that in mind that I decided to have another look at this and figure out a better way of doing business. To give that a bit of context, I suppose it's important to look at where I'm coming from and what my background in this actually is. I'm a second generation property consultant. My dad set up an estate agency in 1968. So I was, the more than I'm sure a lot of you in this room, I've grown up in this industry. I'm 25 years practicing myself, but more than I'm sure a lot of the people here in this room, you're an awful lot longer than that, listening to the coffee table conversations about property and sales and so on and so forth. So I've seen the highs and I've seen the lows. Like, for over 30 years, our company has worked in the new home sector. We've worked from the 1970s dealing with apartments, 1980s Section 23s, 1990s all the rural renewal schemes, retirement villages, all that kind of stuff. We've done site acquisitions, new suburbs, shopping centres, all that kind of stuff. So we covered the whole gamut when it was dealing with developers. At one stage we had our own in-house design agency as well, working on the marketing and implementation of that. So to create an overall approach for developers and employ the best technology available for them at the time. When the wheels came off the wagon, back in the late 2000s, I suppose, we repositioned our agency into looking at the stress asset sector, receivers, phones, liquidators, that kind of stuff. And the exact same problems we were having with the developers are the exact same problems that the funds and the receivers were having, with sales falling through, buyers getting stressed out, and probably worse because their timelines are bad as well. So at that stage I looked down and said there has to be a better way of doing this. So I started developing what would become the technology at the back of buying new homes. I started with a blank slate to try and figure out what was wrong with the system. And as I said before, like, deposits didn't come through, mortgages fell through, protracted post-sale agreed processes, and you're looking at forever to sell a house. So I figured there had to be a better way for technology to improve what we were doing. So I looked at kind of what would be the best system. If you were starting from a blank slate, what is the best system that people would try to have? So I did a bit of research and I spoke to buyers, spoke to vendors, spoke to agents, spoke to stakeholders who were involved in it. And it emerged that the ideal system would be one from the developer's perspective, where they could screen all the bidders beforehand, before they get into contracts, because they knew they had the money to get complete the transaction. From the buyer's perspective, that they knew before they put money down that they'd access the legal information, check all the title and maps and so on and so forth, before they actually went into actually contracting and dealing with the property. That when they were going out looking at the kitchens, they could also look at the title documents, that they were doing everything in advance. That they could answer any queries that they needed to have, that the solicitors could get answers to those queries without having to be dragged in inordinately amount of contract times. Similarly, people's lives have moved on. The traditional 9-to-5 job is few and far between and becoming less and less, as we all know. And people don't have the time to go to the estate agent's offices where they're open 9-to-5, or go to the show house, or they ring the agent's closed, or sending emails and messages and blah, 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 blah. It's back and forth over an extended period of time. They want to be able to enter into a contract and buy the house when they want to buy the house, not when the house is available for sale. It's when they want to actually buy it. And they want to go from, the buyer, with the sellers particularly, want to go from, yeah, I'm interested in the house, to yes, the house is sold. Not go through a 6-9 month protracted, subject to contract, sale agreed, contract denied process, which is a no man's land that everybody hates. And that's where the Buy New Homes platform came from. That's what Buy New Homes allows us to do. It allows us to answer all those questions and resolve those problems and give us that solution. So we've already discussed where that actually came from. So once this system was developed, I then started implementing it on the existing home centre, dealing with receivers and the funds and the liquidators. That's where the AuctionRooms.ie brand came from. So we developed that and rolled that out. Started rolling that out in March of this year. And we're now rolling out the Buy New Homes platform, which is the corresponding and specifically targeted towards new homes. There's slightly different requirements for the two, and the Buy New Homes zone is specifically designed for the new home sector. So how does it work? It's very simple. The developer sits down with the agent and decides what homes they're going to launch. They've already put together their scheme. They know what units that they're going to launch. They decide on their launch platform when they're going to put them together. Talk to the solicitors, get all the legal packs together, get all their information, type documents, everything else that they need, and they upload them to the platform. Same as they would for Daft, My Home, any type of advertising platform that the agent is used to having. They upload all the information in advance. And then decide when they're going to make the homes available. It could be available in an hour, it could be available in 6 months' time. It makes absolutely no difference. They decide when they're going to launch them and how they're going to launch them. Okay? The agent can then get the show house marketing suite ready, start the advertising and the promotion. The buyer comes to show house suite, say, yeah, I'm interested in such and such a house. That's great. They go on to Buy New Homes and they register their details. Okay? They're then told, we then ring them to confirm they understand the terms and conditions. Obviously there's legal contracts that they have to agree to. We ring them to confirm that they understand the terms and conditions that they've agreed to. We also then pay the agent a refundable booking deposit at that point, plus their proof of funds. They have to give the agent a copy of their proof of funds to ensure that they have enough money, their letter of offer, probably bank statement, whatever it may be, to confirm that they have the funds available to purchase the property. The agent then contacts us and says, yeah, Johnny's ready to complete the property, he has the funds, that's great. We then authorise their account, that gets them access. They are now in a position to take down all the contracts, all the titles, and bring them away to their solicitor. They then can enter into a due diligence process. This can even be done before the scheme even launches. So they can conduct all the due diligence, check out all the legal information, see what questions need to be answered, and if they're happy with them, when the home comes available, it's a one-click purchase. They're then buying the house straight away. No sale agreed, no subject to contract, sold. So they can go from show house to sold straight away. There are a lot of benefits for all this kind of stuff. First off, the buyers can buy outside of contracted hours. Once the scheme has launched, you can launch at 12 o'clock, you can launch at any stage. There's no queuing, as used to be historically for overnight launches. They can do it from their own kitchen. Once the homes are available, they can buy them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agent's office doesn't need to be opened. The developer doesn't need to know anything about it. Once the buyer is happy and they're home, they can sit down at 2 o'clock in the morning. They both be working days, home at night, sit down, yeah, this is the house we're going to buy. Click on the purchase button, sold. Property can be sold in the middle of the night. They can be, the site itself is mobile compatible, so they can buy from the beach, they can buy on their holidays. It also means that you can launch a scheme in Ireland and sell it to somebody in Australia. If you have an expatriate, if you have the people who have left this country and are abroad and looking at investing back home again, the parents and friends can check out and say, yeah, that's a good buy. They can actually contract from outside of the state and buy the property in Ireland at their leisure, at their time. So you now have a situation where the due diligence can be conducted without people being bound into a contract. The buyer pool is inordinately larger than what it was previously. You're selling to a worldwide market rather than a local market. You're not going through a protracted subject to contract sale agreed process. You're going straight from looking at the show house to actually buying the property. So there's no sales falling through because the agent is already screened and has confirmed that the parties have the funds to complete the transaction. You're not selling a house, waiting for it to go through 6 months of solicitors knocking back and forth. guys been on holidays, loan offers expiring, and the sale falling through again. We're going straight to the sold process. In addition, we've partnered with Smart Currency in the UK. So when people register with us to buy the property, we also pre-authorise them for the euros. So they can lock in currency exchanges to make certain that they have the funds available for them at every stage. Once they do buy the property, effectively a sales advice note type email issues to everybody who's involved in the transaction. So now everybody knows who's involved in it. They have a secure portal for lodging the balance of 10% of the purchase price back in. All the funds are handled by the solicitors or by the agents, in their clients' accounts. So it's all secure and all bonded, and everything is done on an above board basis. The other benefit is, by and large, we're dealing with first-time buyers here. And first-time buyers are, by the definition, exactly that. They've never bought a house before. They don't know the system that we used to operate in, where these things went on forever. They're learning from the ground up. They're used to buying on an online platform. They're used to using the eBays of the world. So they're used to actively engaging in this type of scenario. So it's natural to them to be able to buy this platform. We're adjusting to their lifestyle rather than them adjusting to how the industry has historically performed. So I can see you ask yourselves, right, that's great. How much does this actually all cost? The platform operates on a flat fee basis. So it's on a per listing basis. It's €375 per property. That's it. It's paid when the property goes up. If the property price changes, if you want to change any legal information, whatever it may be done, you can change it as whatever needs to be done. There's no extra costs for doing all that. The engine behind it, the AuctionRooms.ie engine, has been operational for over 9 months. We started rolling it out nationally in March. We have over 30 agents now signed up and trained in the system. There have been, I'd say at this stage, probably €3 million worth of transactions conducted on it. We've had buyers from 20 to 70 who were born on the platform, and the experience of the buyers is very, very good. They like the transparency, they like the ability to see everything in advance, and they particularly like the speed and the fact that the sales can actually proceed. The fact that there's a third-party platform involved in it also gives a bit of faith in the system, and saying there's an external screening being done on everybody who's involved in it, so they know that anybody else who's involved in the transaction has actually been verified and hasn't jumped through the same hoops that they have. Everybody in the room today has an opportunity to remake this industry. The tsunami that overtook us the best part of a decade ago wiped out everything that we've done before. And it's not a matter of cutting back what we had, it's a matter of building something better. We have an opportunity to make a better industry. And I think when we're doing that, looking at the way that we actually conduct the sales is key to that. Firmly of the belief that the AuctionRooms.ie engine, the BuyNewHomes.ie platform, that system is a better sales system. And I think that in the years to come, this will become the norm for how new home sales will be conducted. Thank you very much for your time. Great.